Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojobaka. We can now settle and take a look at our stories. And the LPG Marketers Association is raising concerns over what it describes as some bureaucracy in the petroleum sector, warning of a possible shortage of gas and further hike in prices at the various service stations. Speaking earlier on the marketplace, Vice Chairman of the LPG Marketers Association, Gabriel Kumi, called on the National Petroleum Authority to liberalize the tendering process to enable the BDCs provide products for consumers.
The practical measures being put in place. We needed to abrogate the tender process. It's not helping. It's not helping the industry. It's not allowing for free flow of product onto the market. And now that Atuabo is even down, it's even call for more agency in abrogating that process, so that BDCs are liberalized, BDCs are allowed to bring in the product as quickly. There are BDCs who can command product into the Ghanaian market within a week or within a matter of days, but they are not allowed. They are being restricted by this tendering. Like I did indicate, we want to believe that MPA had a good intention, but the results have shown that the tendering process is not helping us. So they should just liberalize the market, allow the BDCs. Let's go back to the former regime where each BDC is allowed to import its own products.
We want to hear from the regulator, the National Petroleum Authority, to be specific, and of course, its communications manager has joined us via Zoom to have this great conversation, Mohammed Abdul Kudus. Mohammed, thanks so much for joining me on Business Live. Now, first off, I want you to help us understand the current state of LPG reserves in the country as we speak. Atuabo, we are learning, is not producing.
Good evening to you. Good evening to your cherished and wonderful viewers. I hope you can hear me.
I can, loud and clear.
Thank you very much. So, first of all, on the leg of your question about the availability of the product in Ghana, I can assure you that we have more than enough currently available in Ghana to meet the needs of consumers. And our plan has actually been lined up to ensure the regular and consistent supply of the product to the market is in place, and there's nothing absolutely halting it at all.
So that's assurance there is enough supply?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to understand where the miscommunication is coming from, because we are hearing the marketers saying, well, it's inadequate, and if care is not taken by the end of this week, we are likely to see shortage in the system.
So, first of all, I don't even know myself where that particular position is coming from the marketers. So, two things. We have two sources to this particular product. One is the local source that is coming from Atuabo. Then we have another that we import into the country. Atuabo has not shut down. There is a challenge in the quantity of volume that we are expecting from Atuabo. The understanding we've had from Atuabo is that hopefully by next week they would have gone back to the full production that they used to do. And that can help in the artificial shortage that we are currently witnessing from the enclave of the western part of this country. What is happening is that the procedure was to be loading for the people within a particular enclave to pick the product from around the Atuabo. But because of that inability to have the expected production, we've now actually exempted the cross-zonalization clause, so people can now come to Tema. So BRVs can come to Tema and lift the product and send them to the western region so that consumers out there can get it. So the issue that we see in western region is artificial. It is not something that is of national character at all. And like I said from the beginning, we have more than enough in the country to meet the demands of the people. The issue is just about a certain technicality around distribution. That is as a result of the reduction in the volumes that we were expecting from Atuabo.
And you're saying by next week we should have it fixed?
That's the communication we are having from Atuabo. And we believe same to be true, and we're hoping that it will come to pass.
I want to understand what informed your decision to, embark on a new form of regulation for importing domestic gas, because the marketers again are saying that it's not serving the significant impact, of course, its experts.
Yes, I listened to Gabi, and frankly, I was confused as to what exactly the issue is. Because, first of all, this is not about the marketers. It is about the importers. And I've not heard any importer come to complain about the difficulties and challenges this particular system is bringing to their business. First of all, we at National Petroleum Authority are not just supposed to be there and doing business as usual. We're supposed to occasionally interrogate the system and try to see what we can tweak to add value, to make things much more accessible and make things much more convenient for the collective players within the space. One, for the people bringing it, two, for the consumers themselves. And as part of this particular process, we realized that if we were to put to tender, the supply and importation of the product, there's a likelihood of us to benefit from economy of scale. What do I mean by this? Ordinarily, and in the time past, it was each importer that goes to import the volume that it thinks would meet its customers. But we realized that if we're able to aggregate all of this need, put that to tender, and make one person to go and buy in the volume that it would be, there's the possibility of the person getting a certain advantage. And when we actually started this, we saw that the cost of premium that is paid in the importation of this particular product started to come down. And I thought that that was something that, first of all, even if you not pat the MPA on the back, but encourage MPA to do more of that, that would bring the cost down. This is a product that we are intending and hoping to have at least 50% of the will-be users of the product to be consuming it by 2030. So we're trying to see everything that we can put within the space to ensure that prices are relatively competitive and within the needs of the people. And that's why I'm saying that when the product comes and it is good, I think that is going to inure to the marketers. And so for Gabi and the marketers to say that we should stop it, when we've not had even a whimper of a complaint from the suppliers themselves, I'm actually at a loss as to what exactly is being communicated here.
All right, Abdul, so in a minute, I want you to tell me about the latest with regards to the cylinder recirculation model. How is it going? How is engagement going with them?
So absolutely, it is up and running. The bottling plants are out there. A lot of cylinders are at exchange points that consumers can't access. I've heard a lot of these bottling plants and the various suppliers of the product out there on your airwaves, as it were, marketing the product. We're hoping that the intended purpose of it ultimately is to get as many people to be able to use the product. A lot of people have said that the unavailability of it or the inaccessibility of it has been a hindrance to their wish to use the product. And cylinder recirculation is intended to bring the product as closer as possible to the will-be user.
Very well. Thank you so much, Mohammed Abdul Kudus, the Communications Manager for the NPA. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. And I also want to bring in the Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa. He joins us via phone for a quick conversation at the back of this as well. Thanks so much, Duncan. Now, it's been clarified now. The NPA says, well, there's nothing to cry home about.
Let's go straight to what really is happening within the gas sector. And I think we should be candid with the issues. The LPG marketers have decided that they are not picking LPG from two of the most significant sources that bring LPG to consumers. You talk of one, Sage Quantum, that processes the Atuabo gas, and then you also talk of Puma, that also imports a significant volume of LPG. So when you wake up to hear that there is going to be a shortage, it is not that the product is not available in country, but that the LPG marketers are simply still fighting with the cylinder recirculation program that they think will kick them out of the market space or will derail their efforts, at market penetration. And so once that confusion continues to rage, we'll come back to this story the next week, the month later, whatever. We'll keep coming back to this. That issue has got to be resolved. It should not be a picky cherry. You pick and choose where we will not pick products from here because they are competing with us through the CRM. If we don't want the CRM and we think that as a country we should cancel it, we should be able to come to a table. But if you go agree to where that CRM should run, ours will run, one would not expect some of these sabotage that we are seeing with the market. When that happens, it is not they who suffer. The consumer who probably was cooking early in the morning and then the gas got finished and took it to the next point that they could get a refill, rather would end up, inconvenient. If the LPG marketers would sit at the table with the NPA and address their issues, I'm sure there will be shortage here today, there will be shortage here tomorrow. Issues will be a thing of the past. LPG is not in short supply, both in country and globally. So we don't have that issue of shortage at all coming up.
I then guess that for consumers
go up. And prices may not go simply because there's a shortage or whatever. But as we speak, the city is not doing too well. International markets for petroleum products have all gone up. So just this morning, some oil marketing companies have on their own even increased prices again. So that expectation is there that prices will go up. But the artificial shortage situation is something that we need to contain in country because really there's no shortage. It is just an industry sabotage that I think, a section of the market are simply refusing to pick products from the sources that have the products. Let's address these issues so that we stop disturbing the consumer with the threats of shortage here and there.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Duncan Amoah, the Executive Secretary of COPEC. We appreciate your time. You're still watching Business Live. We are back with the Joy Business Van. Before we go, the National Insurance Commission is making a call on stakeholders to put in more effort to support the growth of the insurance industry in Ghana. There is more in this report.
Deloitte School of Actuarial Excellence aims at supporting industry players close the skills gap in the insurance sector with the use of the new standard IFRS 17. According to the National Insurance Commission, Ghana's insurance industry is expected to grow along with the expansion of the economy. Speaking on behalf of the Commissioner, the head of reinsurance at NIC, Esther Ama, charged players to take advantage of opportunities in the economy to attract more people into the sector.
Our market is projected to generate gross written premium way in excess of 10 billion cedis in 2024. But this is relatively small compared to some of our peers within the continent. Therefore, more effort is needed by all stakeholders, including Deloitte, to grow the industry at a rapid but sustainable pace. Ladies and gentlemen, as the economy expands, it is expected that individuals and businesses will have a greater capacity to purchase insurance products to protect their assets and mitigate risks. Additionally, the government's initiatives to promote public-private partnerships in sectors like healthcare and agriculture should drive the demand for insurance coverage. Therefore, let's make good use of these opportunities to grow our market.
Country Managing Partner of Deloitte, Daniel Kojowusu, explains the school is part of Deloitte's contribution to the growth of the sector.
There was no way we could leave them like that, and that we needed to carry them through into the subsequent years. So it's the need that we identify, the gaps that we picked up from implementation of IFRS 17, that we realize that we need to continue, and that's why we are setting up the school. The aim is to pick up especially students that are completing school, and then also those within the industry to just run those practical training, just to give them the practical sense of what it actually means. And that's exactly what is driving this.
Meanwhile, the National Insurance Commission is making efforts to foster collaboration with sector players to build more confidence in the insurance industry.
That's it for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. We have more stories for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. More stories on that portal. Do visit there. Get yourselves updated. See you at 8 p.m. Happy birthday to you, David Odru, one of the greatest directors we have here at Joy News. See you.